up? Brandon Lilly here, and I want to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about fear. Ever since my injury, we're coming up on that 3-year anniversary of when I fell, the 26th of January this month. And, in many, many ways, time has absolutely flown. In other ways, time has been still. I am still trapped in the mindset of 5 more pounds. Being that I was probably at or near the top of my potential when I fell, I liken it to falling from Everest. I didn't fall at the start of the mountain. I didn't fall at the midpoint of the mountain. I fell from the top. And I'm not talking about the sport. I'm talking about my own potential. I never likened myself to be a guy that was going to squat 1,000 pounds or, deadlift 1,000 pounds. I just wanted to get every ounce of potential that I could get, and I was nearing that, and I knew that, and that's what makes my fall so hard for me mentally, is to face that I was so close. And I want you guys to understand something. I get a lot of messages of encouragement. I get a lot of messages of people saying, man, I wish I was like you. I wish I could face this, or I wish I could get back under there and not be afraid. Let me tell you something. Under the bar, I'll admit, I don't know if it's that I've trained for 17 years and I've faced weights that were scary, big, and, could cause injury the whole time. Under the bar is where I feel okay. It's at the chalk bowl, or it's in the drive to the gym, or it's in the shower after the gym, or in my bed at night that I'm afraid. I'm afraid of falling again, and I'm afraid of, what that would do to my body, what that would do to my family, what that would do to me. Because what happens is, when you have something like this happen, and especially if you get injured in your sport, it's traumatic. It is. And all the best surgeons in the world can come in and put your knee back together, but they can't put your head back together. They can't remove the sounds. They can't remove the feelings. They can't remove all the things that people said negatively about you on the internet, about how you were done, about how, you were through. And that's just an underestimation of who I am. For somebody to think that I would quit just because of an injury is maybe more of a show on your character than it is on mine. But it's understandable. People want to see others fail. They want to see other people fall. And I have a fear of not overcoming that expectation. And I understand people. Listen, I figured it up. I've had 13 surgeries. Of those surgeries, and this is in 3 years, 13 surgeries in 3 years, there's been a minimum of 4 weeks with no walking, no getting around, basically being on my back for 4 weeks per surgery. That's over 52 weeks if you add in all the extra weeks here and there for some of the more major surgeries. So for a year of the last 3, I really spent unable to walk, unable to do the things that I want to do, unable to pursue the things that I want to pursue. And the other 2 years that I've been in the last 3 have been trying to put myself back together. And like I said, the surgeons got it right, but the problem is there's no surgeon to go in and fix what's going on in your head. And I think a lot of people see me continue to go, and they've seen me come back to a certain level, and I appreciate what that means to certain people, or the hope that it's given people. But I have my bad days. I have days where, to me, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth all the effort that I put forth. And I don't know if I'll ever get back to where that I was. And I don't know that if I hit the PR and I surpass myself, if that's enough to stop. And I don't know that if I fail, how far I'll fall from that. You know what I mean? So everything that you're feeling, if you've been injured, is okay. You have to deal with it in your own terms. You have to deal with it in your own way. And really, you just have to fuck anybody else that says otherwise. I mean, I'm not a person who can imagine ever taking my own life, but I've had those thoughts, and it sounds crazy to say, that I've gotten that down and that depressed on myself, but I was so wrapped up in myself as a lifter. I'd put in so much effort and so much of my life into that. That's all that I had. So that part of me felt like it died. I was just a physical shell of who I used to be, And I think for the last couple of years, especially the last year, I've spent rebuilding myself from the inside out, from my mind outward. And, I think it's made me stronger. I think it's taught me that some of the things that were easy about powerlifting that I took for granted are going to be some of the strongest lessons as I move forward. And I'm not saying that I hope everybody gets injured. I mean, like, that sounds ridiculous, but if you are injured, or if you do become injured, there is hope. You will learn so much more about yourself, about your training, about your diet, because it's challenging. It challenges you. And I'll never forget talking to Lilly after I fell. He said something to me that stuck out probably more than anyone. And that's true of Lilly in a lot of cases. Like, Louis seen it all and done it all. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh man, now that you're hurt, we're going to find out how strong you can really be." And he challenged me because Louis set all his best numbers after his own injuries. That led to the creation of the reverse hyper and the glute ham raise, and all of his machines and all of his processes came about because of his injuries. And the guys that he has influenced and helped recover from injury is staggering. And that to me was a challenge to myself. Louis has always been a driving force for me to get better in powerlifting. He was one of my biggest reasons for pursuing the sport. So no matter where you are, if you've just been injured, if you've been injured, re-injured, whatever, there is a systematic way to go about getting better. And for me, I pushed so hard in the beginning because I wanted it back. I wanted to erase the thought of my injury, the feeling of being injured and whatnot. But in reality, I just had to take my time. I had to give my body the chance to do its thing and heal the way that it needs to heal. As bad as I wanted to heal, you can't rush biology. You can tendons and ligaments and muscle, they can only heal so fast. And before they can ever be strengthened and reconditioned and built back up to the level of where you were, you have to think, I spent 31 years building this body. How could I possibly expect to tear it down completely and rebuild it in a matter of months? It just doesn't happen. So for me, the answer was to slow down. And then this last 4 months, really the last 6 months, I took 3.5 months off from the gym completely. I didn't look at a barbell, didn't look at a dumbbell, and gave myself a chance to heal. And my body is rewarding me for that. I feel better. I'm walking better. I'm moving better. I'm stable. I'm doing all the things that the therapists have said to do. And that has given me the confidence to start working on the mental stuff. The stuff that, the doubt of, when you can't hardly walk, you're definitely going to fear getting under a barbell. But when you can start doing normal day-to-day things, you don't think about every single step that you take. You don't think about what happens if this curb is an inch deeper than I thought it was going to be and I roll down the hill. All of these things that go through your head, I literally counted every single step I took to the point of madness because it hurt. It didn't feel right. And now that I'm at the point where I'm not thinking about my steps, I'm not thinking about what it might be like to jump again or run again and all these things, and I'm starting to feel in tune with myself, that breeds confidence under the bar. The confidence point of unracking the bar has always been there, but the confidence point of leading up to the bar is coming back, and that's where the excitement comes from. That's where the competitive spirit comes from, and that, for me, is where the true healing comes from. So wherever you are, just keep going. Tomorrow's always going to be there, and no matter what, if you don't reach that level of where you were, set new standards for who you were. Don't worry about the total on the bar. Worry about the kind of person that you are. Worry about the people that you impact in the sport. Start promoting meets, start judging meets, start coaching, start helping. There's so many ways you can impact the sport beyond the barbell, and that's what I've tried to do in my downtime in the last 3 years. I've tried to give myself to the sport in other ways, and I hope that I'm able to continue to do that. But I still feel like I have some things to do under the barbell. But if I don't, at least now I realize that there is life after the barbell, and you can too. So thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, ask your questions, and we'll do another one. See you later.